Let's go to the Metrodome in Minneapolis and join announcers Jack Buck and Tim McCarver for one of the great pitching duels in World Series history.
There are the Twins on the field with Jack Morris taking his warm-ups. He certainly has had more experience than John Smoltz. But the two of them are just excellent hurlers, both at a very, very strong position with regard to the season. They've been pitching very well as of late. And we're ready for this one to start unwinding. Lonnie Smith will be first up.
Feel like we've died and gone to 7.
That's what we've done. Boy, that's exciting for everyone involved. Lonnie Smith with a handshake to the catcher, Brian Harper, a former teammate of his. And here he is from Highland Park, suburb of St. Paul. Jack Morris, hometown boy, makes good. First pitch. Ball one. Smith has had 3 hits, and he's had 4 hits, and 3 of them have been home runs. And ball one strike. Smith, Pendleton, and Gant in the Atlanta first.
I don't think I've ever seen a hitter shake hands with a catcher before the first pitch in any game.
Like a heavyweight fight. It was an unusual occurrence. Balls and a strike. Jack Morris the pitcher, Brian Harper the catcher. We'll meet the umpires here in a moment. Playable into right field. Shane Mack is there. And that's the way this one starts. Here are tonight's umpires. Don Denkinger will work the plate. Harry Wendelstedt, Drew Coble, Terry Tata, Rick Reed, and Ed Montague. This is the crew chief, Don Denkinger. And he will be scrutinized here this evening. Everything that occurs on this playing field is under quite a microscope. Pendleton has been hot with the bat. He's had 10 hits in the series. He homered here last night, his second home run of the series. Ball one to him.
Terry 6 for his last 7. He won the batting title this year, the first Atlanta Brave to win a National League batting title since Ralph Garr did it in 1974.
Out of play. Ralph Garr, by the way, still with the Braves organization. He was one of my favorites when he was with Atlanta. What a nice fellow he is. 1 ball, 1 strike. Easy for Herbeck. 2 out. $55,000 plus here in the Metrodome. Nice chilly evening, clear night out of doors. And Ron Gant stands between Jack Morris and a perfect first inning. Gant with no home runs in the series. He has 8 hits. He hits everything hard. Skipper of the Atlanta Braves, Bobby Cox. They go home after the game tonight. Will it be a triumphant trip? Tom Kelly is the skipper of the Twins. He won it all in '87. And had to win Game 7 here against the Cardinals to accomplish that. 2 balls and a strike. had O'Brien mention in the early going, Morris won 2 games against Toronto. He was the winner in game 1 of this series. Then no decision in game 4. So he's pitching in games 1, 4, and 7.
He can't be any more of a #1 guy. He started the first game of the season for the Twins. He pitched in the All-Star game. He pitched the first game of the American League Championship Series, and he pitched the first game of the World Series. He won all 4 of those games.
And he is 6-1 in postseason play during his career. Down in order go the Braves. No score in the first. Each team has won their home games. Minnesota won the first 2 here in the Metrodome. And the series traveled to Georgia, and Atlanta won all 3. Came back here, took a day off, and last night's exciting win went to the Twins. There's John Smoltz, a 14-game winner during the season, but 8-1 after the All-Star game. And he won 2 games against Pittsburgh, including the clincher. No decision in 1 World Series start.
He has won all 3 of his postseason starts. And he won his last 8 starts in the regular season.
First batter, Dan Gladden. To announce those names before the PA announcer does, or you wouldn't hear a thing. It's going to be Gladden, Knobloch, and Puckett. They took the roof off this place just about when they introduced Puckett in the pregame. Gladden has had 4 out of 25. That's not so hot. See how John Smoltz gets along. Greg Olson has caught each game of this series. And he was a strong performer down the stretch for the Braves. Pulled an Iron Man act. Is in the hole, 1 and 2.
2 unhittable sliders for 2 strikes to Dan Gladden. Those are sweeping sliders from Smoltz.
He pitched 7 innings in game 4. Braves won that game. He didn't get the win. Out of play. 1 and 2. Had a remarkable sports season up here in the Minneapolis area. Now game 7 of this series to add to the luster. And Smoltz is off on the right foot with a strikeout.
There have been 5 previous series in which the home team won each of the first 6 games. But in only 1 of those 5 series did the home team win game 7, and that was the last World Series here in Minnesota, won by the Twins against the Cardinals, game 7 in the Metrodome here.
Batting is Chuck Knobloch. A rookie second baseman. Had a couple of runs batted in this series. 7 base hits. Smoltz pops one in there. Smoltz first put on the Atlanta uniform in '88 for a few games. Popped him up for an apparent second out, and who wants it? Somebody better catch it. There's the second out with Justice making the catch. It looked like Lemke was going to go to it, then Gant gave up. There was a momentary pause there, wasn't there, Tim?
Yeah, I like that qualifying word, apparent. I think that's appropriate for a visiting team in this ballpark. We saw Brian Harper lose one last night. Or Brian Hunter, I beg your pardon.
Well, they applauded long and loud last night for this fella, and they're doing it again. Kirby Puckett. A flair for the dramatic. His 11th inning home run was only the 4th extra inning game-ending home run in World Series history. Dusty Rhodes hit one. Eddie Matthews, Carlton Fisk. Strike two on Puckett.
Dusty Rhodes against Bob Lemon back in 1954 when the Giants swept the Indians. Eddie Matthews of Milwaukee in the 1957 series off Bob Grimm. And then everybody knows about Carlton Fisk home run against Cincinnati in Game 6 of '75.
Back to John. No runners in the first.
We'll return in a moment to the Diamond Collection.
Scored in the second. In the top of the third, the Braves had 2 on, 1 out, but for the second straight inning, Jack Morris pitched his way out of trouble. Now, in the bottom of the third, John Smoltz got out of his own jam, striking out Kirby Puckett with a runner on third. Both pitchers faced threats in the fourth, but worked their way out of them. We now go to the top of the fifth as the Braves try to break a scoreless tie.
It couldn't be any more even. No score after 4. 3 hits each club. No errors in the game. Each team has left 4. Each team has won 3 games of this 91 series. Each team has won 3 games at home in this series. And this is the final baseball game of the year. Jack Morris. Mark Lemke. Ball 1, we're underway. Lemke grounded out his first time. Another hit for the little guy. That is number 10 for Lemke. And it marks the second time in the game the Braves have put their leadoff man on base. And we're to the point where you would expect a bunt, Tim.
Well, with Belliard coming up, it is a guarantee that Belliard will be bunting on the first pitch. I don't know if Bobby Cox will change it. Mark Lemke on with his 10th hit. Not bad for a 27th round draft choice.
That's the 4th hit of the night for Atlanta. But never more than 1 per inning. Belliard singled his first time. He's a good bunter ordinarily. Herbeck holding against the runner. Be to first, and Herbeck takes the throw.
There are a lot of ways to sacrifice successfully on the artificial surface. One of the best ways is just to bunt the ball into the ground. Look at the high hop that Harper has to contend with, and that's enough to get Lemke to second base. That ball looked like it was off home plate. Good bunt by Belliard.
Now the Braves want something from their leadoff hitter with Lemke at second and 1 out. Lonnie Smith is flying to right and he's walked. top of the 5th. No score. Terry Pendleton on deck. But the man of the moment for the Braves is Lonnie Smith. And he bunts. And the play by Pagliarulo, safe. First and third, 1 out. Rather surprising play by the Atlanta outfielder.
Well, if you do this with a runner at second base who was just bunted over, it's got to work 100 out of 100 times. And had that throw been on the money, Lonnie would have been out. Ken Herbeck tried to make it work. The ball into the home plate side. Pagliarulo, a fine play. Lonnie Smith, a bunt base hit. So it's unusual, but it worked. No pictures, just numbers.
We'll see what comes of it. As Harper talked to his pitcher. Lonnie Smith at first.
This ball bunted awfully hard, but Smith down to first base in a hurry. And the throw just pulling Herbeck off the bag.
So Lonnie Smith says to Terry Pendleton, you do it. Pendleton is 0 for 2.
Of course, it's easier for Pendleton to do it because now there's a runner at third and still only 1 out. But a double play in order.
And strike 1, foul ball to Pat Corrales. Lemke started all of this consternation with a base hit. He was bunted down to second, advanced on the bunt single by Lonnie Smith. One ball, 1 strike. This game too important for that family to stay away. Bring the kids.
1 ticket for 2 people.
Popped him up for the second out. Shortstop wants it. And has it 2 out. So Pendleton leaves them.
The split finger popped up. Watch Greg Gagne with that right hand. Once that hand goes up, a lot of times you can't hear the infielder, but you can certainly see him. And Greg Gagne makes the play.
So Gladden stayed away, and there are 2 on, 2 out. And up is Ron Gant, who is 0 for 7 in games 6 and 7. 0 for 2 tonight. I said it the last time he batted. If the Braves are going to win, sooner or later, Ron's going to have to do something. And this crowd hooting and hollering on each pitch. Braves have left 4. Have 2 on, 2 up. No score in the 5th. Lemke and Smith run the bases. One and one. Lonnie Smith is somewhat of a threat to run in a spot like this.
Well, with Gant the batter, I think they're going to give Gant a chance to drive the run home. I don't think Smith's going to run unless Gant gets 2 strikes on him, 1 and 2.
In the dirt, blocked the runner halfway, and he is safe. He got back.
Pagliarulo tried to block him off the bag. That's a legal play. You're not supposed to do it without the ball, but if the ball's close to you, most umpires will give it to you. You can see Harper The ball rolling out in front of home plate. Harper stays at home. Morris picks it up. And the throw back to third. Watch Pagliarulo. He tried to block him off. He thought he had him. But Lemke back just in time. Boy, that was close.
It was really close.
Very close. Pagliarulo thought he had him.
Count has gone to 2 balls and a strike to Ron Gant. First and third, 2 out, no score, 5th inning. That was close.
And just back.
Really close.
Looked like the tag was high by Herbeck.
The count 3-1.
One more look at Mike Pagliarulo, the third baseman. Lemke halfway, and he tries to get back. Look at the right knee of Pagliarulo. He drops down, but Lemke is clearly back in there. Good call.
Now 3-1, and we'll see if Lonnie Smith leads from first. Not going. And a foul makes it 3-2. This fella hasn't hit a home run since Game 3 of the National League Championship Series. Inside of Ron Gant's cap, it says, I will, I can, I am. That's his philosophy applied to baseball. First and third, 2 out, 3-2. Lonnie Smith will go. Still a hold against him, and they might try a pickoff play. Runner going. Strike.
We'll return in a moment to the Diamond Collection on Classic Sports Network.
What goes on inside the brain of a pitcher like John Smoltz? How does he tune out 50,000 screaming fanatics? How does he stay focused with a runner on first who does the 40 and 4-4 and a 342 hitter at the plate? You see, all Smoltz thinks about is this imaginary tunnel with a 2-inch leather target at the end. And there's only one sound that can break his concentration.
Strike 3!
Hi, Bob Vila here to show you a unique new Craftsman tool no home should be without. Craftsman Handy-Cut Utility Cutters. The one tool you can count on for all kinds of tough cutting jobs. Craftsman Handy-Cut does the job of utility knives, carpet knives, shears, shop cutters, and more. Look how tough it is to make a good cut through this damaged garden hose with a utility knife. Craftsman Handy-Cut gets it done in one clean cut. It's a terrific small branch and shrub pruner. Shears or shop cutters can't trim vinyl flooring as easily as the Craftsman Handy-Cut. Use the Craftsman Handy-Cut to cut nearly any common household material, including rope, plastic, leather, vinyl, and rubber. Call now, and you can order your Craftsman Handy-Cut for only $19.99. And remember, when you buy from Sears, your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back.
To order your Craftsman Handy-Cut, get your Sears card or other credit card ready and call 1-800-708-9494. That's 1-800-708-9494. Call right now.
Some artists achieve greatness with paint and canvas, and some just jam. Julius Erving and Connie Hawkins emerged from an upstart league to bring the playground game to the arena floor. Classic Sports presents Artists of the Court, a portrait of 2 expressionists who brought grace, style, and some sweet moves to the NBA. Watch the Classic Sports original production, Artists of the Court, tonight at 7:30 Eastern on the network that puts you in the paint, Classic Sports.
The
education of Dandy Don continues. We await the punt.
Classic Sports Network presents a world premiere special event. Replay the history of the NFL on television. Broadcasters.
We're on national television. I'll finish it right now.
Directors.
I had my cameras everywhere. They couldn't hide from me.
Pioneers. This is the story of how football changed television and how television changed football. Replay the history of the NFL on television premieres Saturday at 8 p.m. on Classic Sports.
Amazing. Awesome.
63 for Jordan, a new NBA record.
Jordan's heroics push the Celtics into double overtime. Watch the Bulls battle the Celtics Wednesday at 8, only on Classic Sports Network.
Through 5.5 innings, Jack Morris had used his split-finger fastball to dodge one threat after another. And the same could be said for John Smoltz, who stopped the Twins' threat in the bottom of the sixth by getting Chili Davis to hit into a double play. Morris blew away the Braves in the top of the seventh, while Smoltz got through the Twins' half of the inning with a lot of help from Terry Pendleton. We now go to the top of the eighth, and the score is still 0-0.
Jack Morris takes it into the eighth. Faces the top of the order. Ronnie Smith, Terry Pendleton, and Ron Gant. Ball one. Smith is flied out, walked and singled. That was a bunt single in the fifth with a runner at second, one out. It did not pay off. That's going to drop. I think it does. And that's the second hit of the night for Lonnie. On base for the third time. Half swing got him a base hit.
The third baseman, Terry Pendleton.
Now what do you do with Pendleton, Tim?
Well, there are a lot of ways you can go. You can bunt, you can hit and run, or you can play it straight up. If Pendleton doesn't move the runner along, you can steal with Lonnie Smith.
Pendleton is 0 for 3 tonight. Had been hot coming into the game. Shut down by Jack Morris. Ball one. Pendleton sacrificed 7 times this year.
See, the reason that Bobby Cox isn't bunting here, I think, is that the matchup Morris against Pendleton is better for the Braves and Bobby Cox than the matchup of Gant and Morris. So why would you bunt your better matchup player to get to a guy who is not as good as Pendleton as far as average is concerned? Power, yes, but not average.
This is the third time in the game Atlanta's put their leadoff man on base.
You've got the hole open on the right side with Herbeck holding the runner on at first base. Tom Kelly pointing to his head. We'll see if Harper does the same thing. I think that's the sign to throw over to first base.
Pendleton took a strike. That's 1-1. Like the call.
Well, whenever Kelly goes to his head, then Brian Harper, you saw him go to his head. And that's the sign for the pitcher to either throw to first base or to use the slide step. We've been seeing that too often during this series to try to figure it out. So Jack Morris using the slide step there.
Lead off single by Lonnie Smith. Kelly keeping a close eye on his pitcher here in the 8th inning.
He went to his head again, so this is either a slide step or a throw to first base.
They pay a lot of attention to Smith, who stole 9 bases during the season. In the bullpen, Steve Bedrosian and Mark Guthrie, the right-hander and left-hander. Scoreless 8th inning, 7th game, leadoff hit by Smith. Pendleton hits it out of play, and he's in the hole 1-2. Atlanta has the plate. Pendleton hit 22 home runs this season, plus 2 in the World Series. Minnesota crowd wants a strikeout. The Atlanta Rooters want a hit. The ball is in the dirt, says the third base umpire, Terry Taylor. And Pendleton's still alive on the foul tip.
So he foul tipped it, then the ball went in the dirt, and then it skipped into Harper's mitt. That was the call. Let's see if it happened. Yes, good call by third base umpire Terry Taylor. Clearly into the dirt.
Don Denkinger, the plate umpire, asked for help and got it. Runner at first, nobody out in the Atlanta 8th. This will be the 100th pitch of the evening from Jack Morris. Pendleton into left center field. That ball is down and a bad. Well, it's off the wall. Lonnie Smith is held up at third, and he didn't do very good base running. That was terrible by Lonnie.
He didn't pick the ball up. He stopped when he rounded second base. He may have gone for the decoy around second. Lonnie Smith sees the ball in the gap, and look, he looked at Knobloch. You see Gagne and Knobloch combining for the decoy. Smith clearly could have scored on the ball had he been running all the way. As it was, the decoy of Knobloch and Gagne held Smith at third base. Knobloch, the one thing you don't do if you're the runner from first base, you don't look at the infielders. Never trust the infielders. Only trust where the ball was hit. Smith with a clear view of where that ball was hit, and he went for the decoy at second base. And that's why he didn't score.
The infield comes in now as Ron Gant comes up. I thought Atlanta got a bad break because the ball was going to jump over the fence. They got a bad break when Lonnie did that poor base running. And we still have no score, but it's second and third and nobody out. Another chance for Gant. And he pops it out of play. Gant is 0 for 3. He left 2 on in the third. And he left 2 on in the 5th inning. He wants at least a fly ball to put Atlanta on top here in the 8th inning. And Tom Kelly goes down the line with Jack Morris. Little roller, and they'll get an out without a run scored. They got Gant again. He's 0 for 4. Atlanta coming into this inning had left 6. Now they've already missed a scoring opportunity. Justice is going to be walked. It will be the second pass by Jack Morris. And it's going to load the bases with 1 out here in the 8th inning of a scoreless game. And there's Sid Bream in the on-deck circle. He'll be up with the bases loaded and 1 out. Great opportunity for Atlanta. Nasty spot for the Twins. 7th game, folks. Sid Bream is 0 for 3. Grounded to second, flying to left, grounded to first. There is a Braves fan. Infielders are back now at second and short. Ball 1. that problem, too, when you give the intentional walk to load the bases. The runners on base tonight, Atlanta 2 for 11, Twins 1 for 10. Green wants at least the fly ball. Twins desperately want the double play. Good swing by Sid, and it's 1-1. Bobby Cox knows that he should have had a run already here in the 8th. One thing Sid Green doesn't want to do is get that 2-strike count on him with Morris in possession of that split finger delivery.
A lot of pressure on Harper also if the splitter's in the dirt.
Green is in the hole, 1 and 2. Lonnie Smith at third instead of on the bench. Pendleton had doubled as its second. They walk Justice. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Sid Green. 1 out. And the play is to home. Out there. Out there.
Coming to crunch time again, the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings here, and it looks like one of those great 7th games.
The 7th game, I mean, everything's on the line, and nothing more exhilarating than being involved in a 7th game. Remember in '86, we were down 3-0. We come back and win it 8-5. Emotions are just on the highest peak you can imagine. And I'll never forget when Jesse Orozco struck out Marty Barrett. I was just in awe of the fact that we were world champions.
Well, getting back to this game, the Braves really blew a great chance to win it on Lonnie Smith's play.
Well, it was a bad play on Lonnie Smith. I mean, he takes off on this ball by Terry Pendleton, and he gets deked by a rookie, Chuck Knobloch. Now, here's a guy that's a veteran of several World Series and was a winner with the Phillies, the Royals, and the Cardinals, and he gets deked by a rookie. He should have scored on that play. He messed up, he made the mistake, and he cost the Braves dearly there.
Watch him take a look at the second baseman right there. And now he stops and he does a stutter step. I don't know, he's waiting for what.
And he sees the play right in front of him, too. The ball is over Gladden's head in left field. And yet, hey, he should have scored easily once he recognized the ball was over his head.
But he sees it late and he gets the big high bounce in that Superdome or whatever they call that place with the glad bags out in the outfield. And he still doesn't score. But, you know, you got to give Jack Morris credit because there was nobody out. And they got second and third, sacrifice fly, and they score.
Exactly, and he pitched out of a big-time jam by walking the bases loaded, and then the ground ball, and then the double play, and it was over with.
Good pitchers do that.
Oh, boy.
When we come back, the Metrodome's decibel level is at full tilt, and I'm telling you, that's something when you're there. And it's the Twins' turn to see if they can break the scoreless tie in the bottom of the 8th.
Saw it as you did, but I still can't digest that Atlanta 8th inning. We're still scoreless in the bottom of the inning. 7th game of the series. Pinch hitter is up. Randy Bush. Up the middle, base hit.
Sometimes by playing good defense, you ignite the offense. Bases loaded and 1 out. And what a huge double play this was for Herbeck. Harper back to Herbeck.
We have a pinch runner for Randy Bush. That's Al Newman. Smoltz had retired 5 in a row, and Bush gets that base hit. Newman, the runner. And the top of the order is up, represented by Gladden. Gladden had 5 sacrifice bunts during the year.
And I think you'll see another one here.
He's 2 for 3 on the night. Wow. At top of the inning. Single by Lonnie Smith, a double by Pendleton. Smith would have scored standing up if he had continued to run. Out of play, strike 1. And the Braves get Pena, the right-hander, and Mike Stanton, the left-hander, on their feet. The go-ahead run on at first, nobody out for the Twins. Only the second time they've had their leadoff man on base this evening. Sid Green desperately wanted to pull the ball to avoid the double play. He pulled it and hit into the double play. After Gant had rolled out in the top of the inning. Bunts it, foul again, strike 2.
So now what Dan Gladden wants to do is change the bunting situation into a base hit. If you're John Smoltz, on the other hand, you want to change the failure to get the runner over into an out without moving the runner.
Smoltz has been a wonderful hurler for the Braves tonight, as has Jack Morris for the Twins. One ball, 2 strikes. Now John Smoltz is up to 100 pitches in the contest. Gant comes to it. 1 out, the runner back. So Gladden fails to move the runner over. And give the pitcher credit for that. Game 7 of the 91 series in the Metrodome in Minneapolis. Bottom of the 8th, 1 on, 1 out, and no score. 7 hits for Atlanta, 5 for Minnesota. And a good hit and run man is up there now in Chuck Knobloch. He has flied out 3 times this inning. Newman, the runner. Took a strike.
You have a good hit and run man, but not a good hit and run pitcher. John Smoltz is best and most effective when he throws high fastballs. A pitcher who throws high fastballs, you don't want to hit and run against, because the chances of you putting the ball in play in the air are too great.
We'll see what the Twins do as they try to come up with a run. Pitch out by Atlanta, nothing shaking. 1 ball, 1 strike. Newman pinch running for Bush. He batted for Gagne. Bush did and got the hit. Now there's 1 out. Can't say enough about this young Atlanta hurler. John Smoltz. Runner going. Base hit. First and third, 1 out. And who's up? Puckett.
They did indeed hit and run. Newman running on the play. The line drive just over the glove of Sid Green. Newman into third easily. Chuck Knobloch had flied out 3 times, and when he needed a line drive, he got one. Interesting situation right here. You know what would be unusual strategy? Walk, Puckett, and get to Herbeck. Herbeck has not been a good hitter the whole season, and if Cox goes to a left-hander, I think that's exactly what he's going to do.
John Smoltz was terrific tonight, but is knocked out here in the 8th inning in favor of Mike Stanton. First and third, 1 out, no score. Well, wasn't this young man terrific? Took the game scoreless into the 8th inning, pitched 7 1/3, no runs, 6 hits, struck out 4, hit 1, walked 1, and gives way to Mike Stanton. Let's go down to Jim Cott.
Well, Jack, Mike Stanton, according to Ken Herbeck, was as tough a left-hander as he has seen all year. Probably the most comparable Scott Radinsky of the Chicago White Sox.
Tim McCarver called the turn. It's going to be Herbeck up there with the bases loaded because they are indeed walking Kirby Puckett.
You talk about brassy for Bobby Cox. I'm telling you, this takes a lot of guts right here, but consider the reasoning. The way the Braves have been swinging the bats, Bobby probably considers 1 run, you know, that's going to open the floodgate. What 1 run's going to win it. So he's playing it like the bottom of the 9th instead of the bottom of the 8th. Ken Herbeck has struck out 3 times against Mike Stanton. And that gives you an idea of what Jim Cott was talking about, and that's why Herbeck doesn't like to face Stanton, but here he is facing him in the most important situation of the series.
Interesting battle right here is that Stanton has been running that fastball in on Herbeck, and the way he handled Radinsky was he was patient and got a pitch away from him. He'll be trying to hit the ball to left field there.
Fastballs inside and sliders away. Stanton to Herbeck.
Well, it doesn't matter who you're rooting for. Isn't this wonderful? No score on the bottom of the 8th. Bases loaded, 1 out. Here in Game 7, infielders back at second and short. Stanton misses. As we mentioned earlier, when you walk the bases loaded, you really put that pitcher on a hot spot. Herbeck hit by a pitch, 0 for 2. Wants at least a fly ball. And he hits it foul, 1-1. Stanton wants the strikeout, pop up, or double play. Al Newman, the runner at third. And Chuck Knobloch down at second, and they walk Kirby Puckett. Herbeck is 0 for his last 15. 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position in the World Series. Ball 2. John Schuerholz, the general manager of the Braves. Sweating out his pitcher Stanton, and Herbeck can look for something to swing at here. And a line drive and a double play sends us into the 9th inning scoreless. So the Braves catch a break. Stanton catches a break. And Herbeck failed to bring him home.
Jammed on the pitch. And Lemke is there, and he steps on second, an unassisted double play. Unbelievable.
You're watching Classic Sports Network.
Be the
Classic Sports Network, the greatest new network in the history of sports.
You've been hoping for this moment, and now your dream has come true. The delicious new chicken crisp sandwich at Burger King. Right now, part of the 99-cent Great Taste menu. 7 items, 99 cents every day. And you're worth every penny of it.
If you ask us, it just tastes better.
Another hot dinner turned ice cold? Now there's Keep It Hot, the amazing new microwavable hot plate that keeps food hot up to 1 full hour. Place Keep It Hot in your microwave. The handles stay cool, but the stone is so hot it sizzles. So hot, it can even fry an egg. Sterno cans and electric hot plates could be dangerous, but Keep It Hot is cordless, insulated, and safe for any surface. Mashed potatoes get cold, but Keep It Hot potatoes stay hot. Late guests mean cold food. At the party, Keep It Hot keeps food stove top hot, keep bread warm, keep vegetables steaming, keep coffee hot without reheating. Microwavable Keep It Hot, only $19.95. But wait, order in the next 10 minutes and you get a second Keep It Hot absolutely free. That's 2 for only $19.95.
To order your 2 Keep It Hot plates for only $19.95 plus shipping, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-515-2299. Sorry, no CODs. So call now. That's 1-800-515-2299.
Some artists achieve greatness with paint and canvas, and some just jam. Julius Erving and Connie Hawkins emerged from an upstart league to bring the playground game to the arena floor. Classic Sports presents Artists of the Court, a portrait of 2 expressionists who brought grace, style, and some sweet moves to the NBA. Watch the Classic Sports original production, Artists of the Court, tonight at 7:30 Eastern on the network that puts you in the paint. Classic Sports.
You're watching The Diamond Collection on Classic Sports Network.
Hasn't this been, and isn't it, magnificent? 7th game, 9th inning, no score. And through it all, as you try to find a smile and you can't, you find no happy faces here among the players. Through it all, Jack Morris still on the hill for the Twins. And ball 100, we have the new shortstop, Al Newman. After they lifted Gagne for the successful pinch hitter, Randy Bush. Hunter has a double in 3 trips. To the third baseman, Pagliarulo. 1 out.
Once again, Morris maintaining his velocity, so Pagliarulo stays off the line and makes the play. Hey, in that double play, Chuck Knobloch breaking at second base. A third base coach reminds the guy at second to watch the line drive, but you really can't fault Knobloch on that play.
Now it's Olsen. He's 0 for 3. Newman gets it. You're aware, aren't you, folks, that Atlanta missed a chance in the 8th. Single by Smith, double by Pendleton. Smith held up at third base as he lost sight of the ball. And Atlanta missed a golden opportunity. Now Lemke with 2 out. He's had a hit. He's 1 for 3. Jack Morris trying to complete the 9-inning shutout. Lemke fails, the Braves can only win in extra innings. Two out, nobody on, and these folks want the inning to come to a close. Morris has walked 2, 1 intentionally, struck out 6. Scattered 7. Atlanta hits. The Braves have left 8 and hit into a double play. This is a fantastic game. Jeff Blauser moves on deck. He'll bat for Belliard if Lemke is able to get on. Too tough to take for this lady.
Lemke trying to nail one.
Minnesota could win the World Series with a run in the ninth.
Well, that was a dejected Mark Lemke chased that high fastball. I'll tell you, a lot of hitters went back to the dugout looking like Lemke after facing Jack Morris. He was signed as a free agent, Gary, but he really came on as a hired gun. I mean, that's what he really was, and he got the job done.
Well, he was the winningest American League pitcher in the 80s, 198 victories. Now, this guy did it all. He had 3 postseason World Series victories, and it was his 3rd start against the Braves in 8 days. And he was just, he was running on fumes, but I tell you what, his adrenaline and his excitement and everything else was right top notch.
His whole career is what he wanted to do was when he started the game, he wanted to finish it.
Exactly. Well, he had that demeanor on the mound, kind of like a closer. I mean, he had that attitude, great competitive spirit, and he went, what he started, he wanted to finish.
Well, take another deep breath, folks, because this game is still up in the air. When we come back, it's the bottom of the 9th as the Twins hope to capture the World Series.
Stars.
Chili Davis, Brian Harper, Shane Mack will try to win it for the Twins in the 9th as they bat against Mike Stanton. Stanton came on in the 8th and got a line drive double play. Davis is 0 for 3. He was whacking away trying to turn out the lights. He is struck out, flied out, grounded into a double play. That was while the remarkable John Smoltz was on the hill. Ball, 1 strike. Bobby Cox, the manager of Atlanta, when talking about this particular pitcher, said it doesn't matter whether they're left-handed or right-handed, Stanton can get them out. The only way the Braves can win is an extra inning. Then we're in the 7th game. And they still have to get there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Twins have left 7, hit into 2 double plays. Charlie Leibrandt wants to win this game in the worst way. 2-2 to Davis. The Twins have 6 hits. They've been given 2 walks, and they've had a hit batsman. Two. Out of play off the bat of Davis. How about that walk again by Bobby Cox?
A lot of guts, didn't it? 1st and 3rd, 1 out. Kirby Puckett, the batter. Mike Stanton into the game, walking Kirby Puckett intentionally. And Ken Herbeck lining into a double play unassisted to Mark Lemke. He didn't hit it well. Hit it off the fist. And speaking of off the fist, that is what Chili Davis has done. Mike Stanton has thrown some nasty fastballs in on the hands.
Into right center. That ball gets down. Davis stops it first.
Chili almost missed first base, rounding the bag. But he's going to play it cautious anyway. The outfield was deep to prevent the extra base hit. But watch how close he comes to missing first base. Matter of fact, I think he did miss it. And that, you know, it was very close. He may have touched it with the side of his foot. But I think that's why he went back. Watch.
Enough to make him feel uncomfortable, I'm sure. And so he retraced his steps. Now we have a pinch runner. We have a pinch runner, Jarvis Brown.
Here it is right here. Watch Chili Davis right there. Did he touch first base? I'll tell you, it was too close for him to try it and go to second base, and I think that's why he came back.
And the batter is Brian Harper. And Jarvis Brown gets back. Jarvis Brown, number 1, is carrying the winning 1991 World Series run if he can circle the bases. Harper is 1 for 3.
And Harper bunting, he showed bunt a lot of times. That's why pitchers throw to first base, to get a batter to commit. And Harper committed that he is bunting.
Billy Davis with a leadoff single in the 9th. Brown runs for him. Woo, that ball handcuffed Greg Olson.
This ball almost got away from Olson. A high fastball almost took his glove off. Stanton throwing awfully hard.
Ball 1 the count to Harper. So they switched off and gave him a swing at that fastball, 1-1. Gardenhire gets the signs from the bench from Tom Kelly, flashing to the hitter and runner. Nobody out. Bottom of the 9th. No score. 7th game. And bunted well. It's a base hit.
Like Mike Stanton is hurt. Stanton falling toward the third base side. Looks like a cramp. But what Brian Harper did, he found the seam. He found the seam between Stanton and Bream. It looks like a cramp that Stanton has. But watch Brian Harper intentionally push the ball to the right side, and he finds the gap between Stanton and Bream. And Stanton, trying to track the ball down, appears to have hurt himself. Looked like when he was trying to turn around after he picks the ball up. And there it is. He bunts it hard between the charging Bream and Stanton. And it looked like when Stanton retrieved the ball, he may have sprained the knee.
New pitcher coming in is Pena.
We'll return in a moment to the
series. Tied 3 games apiece. Game 7. Runners at first and second, nobody out, and Alejandro Pena into the game in relief of Mike Stanton. And how are the Twins going to play it? Pena worked 2 innings last night with 2 strikeouts.
One would think you're in a must-sacrifice situation, but are you? Mike Pagliarulo, the next batter. If Mack bunts successfully, then Pagliarulo is walked, and then you have Al Newman, who is in there as the shortstop. You have 2 left-handed pitchers, pinch hitters left, Paul Sorrento and Gene Larkin.
Let's see how Shane Mack plays it with 2 on. And a foul bunt, strike 1. Mack is 1 for 3. Isn't this something? Leadoff single by Chili Davis. 1 single by Brian Harper. Nobody out in the Twins' ninth, and there's the winner at second. Jarvis Brown. Alejandro Pena has some work to do. They switch off, and a ground ball to Lemke. They get 1, and a double play. The runner ends up at third with 2 out. Lemke and Belliard pulled it off.
How, you might ask? How? Tom Kelly going away from the squeeze or the bunt, and look at Lemke back to Belliard to Breen. The takeout slide by Brian Harper unsuccessful, and a remarkable double play turned by the Braves.
What a pivot by Belliard.
Unbelievable.
So Tom Kelly had his strategy backfire, and now they're going to walk Al Urulo.
I think Tom Kelly putting the hit instead of the bunt on, thinking that with Breen charging, that's going to leave the right side of the infield vulnerable. It did at first base, but not at second. Lemke read it all the way.
They are going to walk Al Urulo. Al Newman will be due up. He is being called back. It'll be first and third, 2 out, bottom of the 9th. No score, 7th game. Tom Kelly's scorecard. He soon will write in the name of Paul Sorrento, who will be batting for Newman. Well, the Braves got a startling double play here to take us within 1 out of extra innings for the 3rd time in this series, but the Braves still have to get there. A walk to Pagliarulo.
2 things to keep in mind. Alejandro Pena made 2 wild pitches in the National League Championship Series. With the runner at third base, Pena throws very hard. Olson out to talk to him, and both wild pitches came with Greg Olson catching. One more look at that brilliant double play turned by Mark Lemke, Rafael Belliard, and Sid Breen. On a bunt play, Lemke's responsibility was to cover first base. But he held his position, and when the ball was hit, he made the play and pivoted. You see him toward first anyway. Harper bearing down on Belliard at shortstop, and just a terrific double play turned by Lemke and Belliard.
They're going to pitch to Paul Sorrento, 25 years old, from Massachusetts. He could be the hero tonight. Pena could be a hero. And they are not holding the runner at first. The big man's at third with 2 out, and Sorrento hammers at 1.
Sid Breen has moved behind the runner at first base. You're playing this game as though nobody were on first. Pagliarulo, if he tries to steal second, of course, has to make sure that he makes it. But if they're going to give it to you, you might as well take it.
First and third, 2 out. Strike 2, and another good swing by Sorrento.
The reason that Bobby Cox has opted to pitch the right-hander to the left-hander here is you'd rather the inexperienced player beat you if he's going to do it. Dan Glad is on deck.
Sorrento is 0 for 1 in this series. Bobby Cox hoping this game gets into the 10th inning. If it does, why haul out some more adjectives to describe this baseball game. Wow, it's something. First and third, 2 out, bottom of the ninth. No score, and a 0-2 count on the pinch hitter, Sorrento. Runner going, foul ball. Tagliarulo was running unmolested off first.
Sid Bream way back, and as we said, if they're going to give it to you, go ahead and take it. With 2 outs, there's not even going to be a play at second base anyway. Both infielders, actually all 3 infielders, the shortstop, second baseman, and first baseman, playing as though there were no runner on first base. The only run that counts, the runner at third, of course.
Sorrento's been getting his swings, I'll say that for him. Count still 0-2. Runner going. Ooh, and another nasty swing by Sorrento. That ball up a bit from Pena, but tough to catch up with it. This pinch hitter has been up and down with the Twins a few times. There's the big run. Jarvis Brown, the speedster at third. Tagliarulo across the way with 2 out here in the bottom of the ninth. Runner going. 10th inning coming up. How much better can it get?
To the Diamond Collection on Classic Sports Network.
Scoreless game. The Atlanta bench ecstatic after getting out of that ninth.
And it should not be a scoreless game. I mean, if you go back to the 8th inning with Lonnie Smith on at first base, he went for the decoy. You see Chuck Knobloch, the second baseman, throwing a ball that wasn't there to Greg Gagne. Gagne acting like he's completing the play. I think what happened is Smith lost vision. He went for the decoy, and then he looked up and tried to pick the ball up, and all he saw was white handkerchiefs in left center field. He couldn't pick it up. Therefore, he stopped. He stopped too long. Had he kept running, he scores the only run of the game, and the Braves win the World Series in a game stocked full of strategy and anti-strategy. In the bottom half of that inning, Mike Stanton in after he walked Kirby Puckett with runners at first and third. That's right, first and third, and Herbeck lines one off the handle to Lemke, and Lemke steps on second. What a bizarre 8th inning that was.
Then in the Atlanta 8th, Sid Bream hit into a double play with the bases loaded. Atlanta's left 8 hit into a double play. Minnesota's left 9 hit into 3 double plays. And this is Jeff Blauser to pinch hit, and Scott Leyes plays short for the Twins. He's playing short, and that's not an unusual position for him. Jack Morris still pitching, and a foul ball. Harper can't see it, and he caught it. He didn't know where it was, but he caught it. Blauser batting for Belliard.
He didn't know where it was when it was going up, but he found it coming down. Watch this. Now, he plays here every day. He's saying, I don't see it. There it is. Got it.
Lonnie Smith is up. He's had a walk and 2 singles.
This is the 3rd extra inning game in World Series play. In a 7-game series, there have never been 3 extra inning games.
Game 3, game 6 in this one. 1-1 to the Atlanta designated hitter. There is 1 out. Lonnie Smith is up, and Terry Pendleton will follow. 10th inning, no score. What a long night for Jack Morris. 1-2 the count. Frank the Choir on Sunday morning.
The Vienna Braves choir, huh?
Ted Turner trying to stay with it. 1-2 the count with 1 out. 2-2. Lonnie Smith has 3 World Series home runs. 6 hits total. Jack Morris has struck out 7, walked 2, 1 intentional. He gets his 8th strikeout.
To have maintained the velocity on his fastball through 9 2/3 innings. A lot of superlatives for that guy. And a lot of horses on both sides, but just watch Jack Morris work. He is a war horse, that guy right there.
Beat Toronto twice. Won game 1. Pitched in game 4. No decision in that one. Takes the 7th game into the 10th inning with 2 outs. Pendleton has a double. It should have been good enough to drive home a run in the 8th. This is the first time since 1989 that Jack Morris has gone more than 5 innings. Alejandro Pena likely to have to go out there in a scoreless game in the bottom of the inning. That's up to Pendleton. Shortstop Leas. Atlanta hasn't scored in 10 innings against Jack Morris. Top of the order coming up.
We'll return in a moment to the Diamond Collection on Classic Sports.
Bottom of the 10th with Gladden, the batter against Pena. Broken bat, fly ball's going to drop. He's trying. Save.
Broken bat, trademark shot over the glove of Brian Hunter, retrieved by Gann, and Gladden never slowed down. You have heard of the catch in the 1954 World Series. If Dan Gladden scores the winning run, you might hear about the bat that broke, that put him there.
The Twins put their leadoff man on the 8th. They put the first 2 on in the 9th.
The bat.
And these Twins are in great shape because their batter, Chuck Knobloch, is an opposite field hitter. He's had 1 out of 4. The odds are pretty good of him moving the runner to third or driving him home. Ball 1. Bad break for Pena as he sawed the bat off in the hands of Gladden. The Twins have an excellent runner at second, carrying the winner. He's a rookie, folks. At the plate with a winning run at second. Is he still punting? One ball, 1 strike. And a bullpen finds Jim Clancy and Kent Merker warming up. In this series, the winning run has has scored on the final play of the game. Gladden the runner. Nobody out. Going to take another miracle for the Braves. Now block bunts. Pendleton goes to first. Lemke took the throw. There's the winner at third base, 1 out. Now we'll see some more strategy.
Or you know you're going to get one intentional walk. That's Kirby Puckett. And the bunt, a successful one. Knobloch to Pendleton to Bream for the first out.
Remember, the Twins have never lost a World Series game in this Metrodome.
So you know the alternative Bobby Cox has is to just throw Kirby Puckett high fastballs. But I doubt very seriously that they will do that. Ken Herbeck, they're going to walk him. Now the outfield comes in. The outfield in a position where they can stand flat-footed and nail the runner at third if they catch a ball. A long fly ball, and the Twins are the world champions.
But Pena and the Braves are going to have to pitch to somebody here.
Well, do you pitch to Ken Herbeck? There's Chuck Knobloch, who did his job. His job's out of the way. Bunting Gladden to third base.
Jack Morris has pitched 10 shutout innings. On deck is Herbeck. How will they deal with him? Jim Cott, what's going on where you are?
Well, it wouldn't surprise me to see him walk Herbeck also, because Jarvis Brown is now the designated hitter, and the last left-handed pinch hitter, Gene Larkin, has a bat up the runway. Be interesting to see what Bobby Cox tries.
First and third, 1 out with a walk to Puckett.
If you pitch to Herbeck, do you try to pitch him inside where he's vulnerable? Remember, Pena struck him out in last night's ball game after hitting with a fastball inside and then going away twice. Herbeck is vulnerable inside, but they're going to put him on too. And it looks like Gene Larkin is going to be the pinch hitter for Jarvis Brown.
This will be the third intentional walk by Pena since he relieved. Here are these Atlanta Braves. They'll be in a spot with the bases loaded, 1 out, scoreless game, bottom of the 10th. They chased the Dodgers. They caught them and beat them by a game. They chased the Pirates and beat them in the 7th game of the playoff. They went home and beat Minnesota 3 straight games to get out of the hole. Now they're only a fly ball away from being the runner-up. But don't discount Pena. And the batter will be Gene Larkin. More from Jim Cott.
Well, I don't know if Bobby Cox is aware of all the injury problems on the Minnesota roster, but Gene Larkin, can almost see him limping up to home plate. He can swing the bat, but he cannot run, so very vulnerable to a double play in this situation.
Larkin is the pinch hitter with the bases loaded and 1 out. He is 1 for 3 in the series.
Looks like it's his left knee that is swollen. The Kitty alluding to the left knee. He also has a shin guard on his right ankle. If you hit it far enough, you don't have to run. And I'm sure that's what Gene Larkin is thinking right now.
Braves pulled off a double play in the 6th, in the 8th, and in the 9th. The infield is in, the outfield is in. And they're going to go back to halfway at second and short.
It's funny, you know, they're going to, Templeton now is talking to Brian Hunter, the left fielder. Jeff Blauser, the shortstop, is back. Mark Lemke is in, and there's some confusion in the middle of the infield right now. Now Blauser's coming in.
They could still go to second base. Now Lemke comes in closer.
I think the key point is that Gene Larkin is not a fast runner. I think you can afford to stay back if you're the middle infielders. Both Lemke and Glauser in doubt as to what to do.
The Minnesota bench hoping to get this winning run across here in the 10th. It's carried by Dan Gladden at third. Base hit loaded, one out. Infielders are sort of halfway at second and short. Pena in a jam. The Twins are going to win the World Series. The Twins have won it. It's a base hit. It's a 1-0 10-inning victory. The outfield in, the high fastball from Alejandro Pena to Gene Larkin. What an ending, what a game, what a series. And who gets the game-winning hit? Gene Larkin, who had only 4 at-bats in the series. Gary, you believe in that?
Well, it's amazing, but one of those unsung heroes again. And obviously, Gene Larkin's hit is what won the game, but it was 36-year-old Jack Morris who was the story. I mean, Morris's performance was outstanding. And if you didn't really know him, if he wasn't a teammate, you kind of hated him because he was a surly type guy, you know, and once you were a teammate of his, you really appreciated what he could do. And he was a gritty type of pitcher. 125 pitches in that ball game, by the way, and ends up winning it.
But aren't pitchers supposed to look like they're intimidating?
Well, yes, obviously, and for Jack Morris's sake, he was one of those type of pitchers that whatever he started, he wanted to finish, and he wanted to win that particular game. That's the reason why he went the distance.
Does it make any difference? Did it make any difference to you when you were batting if you saw a guy out there, Mr. Nice Guy, who was smiling, or some surly guy? Did it make a difference?
You darn right it did. The guy that was the happy-go-lucky guy, you kind of felt a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more at ease. A guy like Jack Morris, you knew he was going to knock you down if he had to.
Uh-huh. So he was going to send you a message, huh?
You bet.
And you got the message.
Yes, I did, and he won the series.
Well, there have been other thrilling seventh-game pitching performances in World Series history. Remember Sandy Koufax's in 1965? That was perhaps the most overpowering. But I'll tell you something. In terms of guts and perseverance, the performance of Jack Morris in '91 in that series stands alone. So for Gary Carter, I'm Joe Garagiola. Thanks for joining us.